I am addicted to dueling. What do I do? You know what? We'll leave it for now. What the hell did I nearly fall in? Let's go play the game. I forgot why I need to talk to Shitu.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yenfei. Is something
Oh
the
yeah,
matter?
I remember where we were. This is like 15
Surely
episodes
not more
ago.
spurious claims that my Jade betting is rigged and...
So
and
she's
no
a
one can ever
lawyer
win?
and this girl...
Oh.
Yeah, I remember.
I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnayan merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnayan merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite.
Okay.
That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite
Right.
generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Okay.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept a few loose shavings to study myself later. They're right over there, in fact.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Where? Where? Oh. Yeah, they're fake.
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings.
Nephrite?
Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite
Gotcha.
is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental
You're an
energy
ordinary ore.
whatsoever.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental side a shot.
Oh, I've missed you, Paimon.
Did you find anything?
Not a trace of elemental energy.
So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao is able to tell what it was
Jichao.
just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
You're pretty
There's
awesome.
nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time.
Why couldn't Shitu tell them apart?
These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference.
Shout
in
out to my
terms of the
casual
market
viewers.
price. And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind Shirto. Why would
Shirto?
Mr.
Oh.
Crossel...
Oh, I feel awful.
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Chateau. Why has he got shit on his toe?
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossel did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact Smaragdus Jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk Smaragdus Jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store. Please read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei, but might I know the nature of the incident on this occasion?
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more
What?
compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Sinxie. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know?
Is this how adept I become so adept at everything? That is literally something I would say.
Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Sinxie.
Right, let's go look for Jinchi and definitely not get distracted by possibly playing cards against people. Nope. That definitely won't be happening. Nope.
Oh, yes! They have the audacity to go after anything.
Man.
The 7 dragons, gods. No ancient artifact that relates can escape their greedy ambitions. Still, this time is different. Who do they think they are, going after the Abyss Order's treasures? Oh, Traveler, it's you.
Huh? Ganyu, what are you doing here with Lan? Do you have a commission you need to post?
Hello. We were just discussing the treasure hoarders.
Yes. We were just saying how even the audacious treasure hoarders should know better than to mess with the Abyss. It's just too evil.
But we recently received intel from the Ministry of Civil Affairs that 2 big-time treasure hoarders in Liyue and Mondstadt are planning some big joint operation.
2 big-time treasure hoarders?
Yes. They're known as Big Sis of the South and Raptor of the North.
Oh, Raptor! Paimon remembers he tried to run away from Amber in Mondstadt. But who is Big Sis of the South?
Does Big Sis mean she bosses people around?
You are correct.
Oh.
She's the head of the treasure hoarders in Liyue. As I understand it, the treasure hoarders all call her boss. Some say that the god of thieves even bestowed a gift upon her for her exploits, making her Big Sis of the gods. But that's probably just a wild rumor.
Anyway, the treasure hoarders discovered some previously unexplored ruins that the Abyss Order has been secretly guarding in the shadows. Despite how dangerous that makes it, all the treasure hoarders can think about is what kinds of treasure could be inside. They have already devised a plan. They will send out a decoy to divert the Abyss Order's forces away from the ruins, then send an expert thief inside to steal the treasure.
To this end, Big Sis and Raptor have reportedly recruited a certain Grand Thief from Fontaine.
Grand Thief? That's quite an impressive sounding title.
That might be the first time we've
Indeed.
heard
He is an
Fontaine in
extraordinary
the game.
individual.
Like someone mentioned it.
The Grand Thief is highly respected in the treasure
I could be
hoarders,
wrong.
in the same way that we adventurers look up to great adventurers.
just like the great adventurer Stanley.
Ah, you met the living legend himself while you were in Mondstadt.
Did I?
Correct. The Grand Thief is someone just as renowned as him. So, despite being relative big-timers in Liyue and Mondstadt, Big Sis and Raptor had to put in a lot of work to convince a thief of his status to come and personally oversee this operation.
With the major changes in Liyue recently, the Ministry of Civil Affairs and the Millelith already have their hands full. They don't have any time to investigate rumors about treasure hoarder activity. But anything related to the Abyss makes me feel like there is some unknown danger lurking beneath the surface. So I decided to come to the Adventurers Guild to post a commission.
Oh, I think this is a different quest. I too understand the dangers of the Abyss.
Leave this commission to us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Good to see this in the hands of a reliable guild member. Well then, good luck. The guild will take care of the details of this commission.
What is this? Chapter 1 out 4, we will be reunited? Oh, it's an Archon quest. Damn, these Archon quests are getting confusing now. So, okay. I think I want to do Jade Chamber Rising. I think we want to finish this. Right? No, I don't know. No, I think this is the main story. This sounds really, really cool though. I like the sound of that. But for now, we've got a ton of world quests that I'd like to get done. And I definitely am not gonna face Lan in a game of cards. No, because I did say we would continue with the game. For what? Mm-hmm. Duel me! Oh my god, the game is literally stopping me from playing. Alright, anyway. Teapot.
Wow. Leo's really got a lot going for it. Cheap and tasty chop suey.
I really hope the Archon quests in Liyue get are just better than the Zhongli one, because that just wasn't the one for me, if I'm being honest. I just didn't really enjoy that. It got so much better towards the end, but all those Zhongli quests
it's you.
didn't really
Has
hit
something
home.
happened? Did the client from last time...
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Krosel? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
No, we're going to
Miss
talk to
Stacy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called
we're going to talk to the
Smaragdus
older
Jadeite?
jewelsmith, right?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Krosel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the Ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinxi. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again!
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
Well, she's a lawyer, and she's asking... Paimon. Must be the nature of legal consultancy.
I believe we have almost all the evidence
Oh,
we need.
yeah?
We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
Baiju?
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
Okay. Go see the weirdo. Can't believe how long it's been since I've been in combat in this game. Hats off to the game. You gotta give it to it. Baiju.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out
Chi-Chi.
gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality and their illness will only ever get worse. Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yenfei, and given the specific nature of your question, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical peculiarities of Smaragdus Jadeite?
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind, Dr. Baiju.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragdus Jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came to ask me about it not long ago. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment.
Look at her thinking face.
I wonder, Miss Yenfei, if your pressing business might be related to the Snezhnayan merchant?
Ah, you needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
Okay.
That
Oh.
Baiju guy is as
Oh.
weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
I mean, he does have a
Dr.
snake.
Baiju's always been like that.
Crossel!
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Well,
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
nothing.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to
He's
the
gonna owe her
stipulations
money
of the
for it.
contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what?
Nani?
Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
The only mistake here
Not
is
at
you've lost
all.
your nose, sir.
According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus Jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus Nephrite. Now, the
Got him.
contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus Jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question.
I didn't really watch Law and Order growing up. Okay, only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it's genuine. Well, then you show the evidence from the jeweler.
If we want to determine whether the ore is genuine, we need to start with evidence from the Jade mystery.
Yeah, of
Clearly,
course.
you still have a few things to learn about this aspect
Shut the
of
hell
legal
up. You
proceedings.
do your job. I'm just here for experience.
This is a processing record from the Jade mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus Jadeite and Smaragdus Nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus Nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus Jadeite. So I had him cut away the Nephrite, he returned the valuable Jadeite core to me, and some Nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
Touché.
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Not bad, Crossell. I'll give him that.
Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
That's why I skipped
Seems
it.
like he came prepared. What should we do next?
That's why I skipped it. But apparently I don't know about law, Paimon. So we'll just stand
Hard
here.
evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Show him, Traveler.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to show him earlier, but you just wasted our time, darling.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus Jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting more belligerent by the second.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
I bring forth the evidence from Boo Boo Pharmacy.
What's this?
Nani?
Smaragdus Jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus Jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus Jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item... I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my
This
work.
may go
but
to
within
court,
that
yep.
of the Ministry
Yep.
of Civil Affairs.
Yep, it's even bigger
However,
than we thought.
I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed
Why does
over
she
to
look
the
high
Ministry.
all of a sudden?
I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh,
Monster.
so you knew? Oh, dear
She's
Mr.
off that
Crossell.
Zaza.
But if you knew of Smaragdus Jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
It's because it's not.
No, the hairpins aren't actually.
aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus Jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Sir Chow 10 times
Well
the original
played,
price
Yanfei.
and more?
Well played.
Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yanfei's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
That's legal consultancy for you.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus nephrite.
Gotcha.
But I'm a victim in all of this too.
True.
I
Wait.
invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus Jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single bite. I was in a constant state of agitation, too. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste? That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus Jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus Jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't touch it again. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Jiqiao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
So why did you charge her such an extortionate rental price?
Exactly. If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus Jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client.
True.
According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
Damn.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus Jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus Jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Jiqiao, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus Jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it
Well,
is.
you're just not going to pay your lawyer?
Miss Yanfei, I'll turn this Smaragdus Jadeite over to you.
Oh.
I trust that it will suffice as remuneration?
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go, but whatever. It'll do.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yanfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and express my thanks more appropriately.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again,
Oh, look,
Mr.
Horizon
Chow,
only, and she's not
have you and
final.
Mr. Crossell come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good. That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second if I may. I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces...
Yeah, let's join
your
forces
jewelry
with somebody
designs
who's
and our choice
a
ores,
complete liar
I
and
think we could do some
thief and-
fine
yeah.
business between us.
What a great idea.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Yes. Oh, right. Oh, we came here literally for Smaragdus Jade. I completely forgot. Yes, though there were some twists and turns along the way.
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem with just a big stack of documents. Even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution.
I can't say I've ever met an adeptus like you before, Genshin.
An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said.
Granny!
Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
I mean,
I can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
I think there's more than just reason involved here, Paimon.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit.
Granny!
I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
Why is sometimes it blue down here? Can I click on it and like it'll... Oh my god. We finally got it. The Smaragdus Jadeite. This reminds me of Sims music. Alright, not no more, but that part did. Alright, let's go see what the hell she's talking about. I have a feeling we're gonna get like a portable camp or something. I'm actually super curious about this teapot quest. So we'll probably have like a place to cook. That'd be really cool if there's like a merchant there as well, so we can just like buy stuff and stuff like that. I don't know. That'd be really cool.